What if the thing your dog needs most from you has nothing to do with walks, food, toys, or training? What if it is something so simple that when you hear it, your first reaction is going to be, that can't really be it? And what if you have been missing it every single day? Not because you are a bad dog owner, but because nobody ever explained what was actually happening. By the end of this video, that changes. Stay with me, because number 4 is the one that affects people the most. And almost everyone who hears this says the same thing. I had no idea I was doing that wrong. The first thing you need to stop doing is staring your dog down when they make a mistake. You know the moment. Your dog chews something they should not have. They knock something over. They grab an item they were not supposed to touch. You catch them in the act, turn around, and without even thinking, you lock eyes with them. A long, serious, unblinking stare. Maybe you even say their name in that firm voice. You think you are showing disappointment, but your dog is experiencing something completely different. In canine communication, a prolonged, intense stare is not the same as a correction. To a dog, direct and threatening eye contact can be a challenge. It is a signal animals use when tension is building and a confrontation may happen. Your dog does not think, my owner is upset because I made a mistake. Their brain processes it more like, something uncomfortable is about to happen. That moment when your dog freezes, lowers their head, looks up at you with wide eyes, or suddenly becomes very still, that is not guilt. It is not them feeling ashamed for what they did. What you are seeing is appeasement behavior. Your dog is using every part of their body language to communicate, please don't make this worse. I'm not a threat. I'm trying to calm this situation down. And over time, this can change the way your dog feels around you. Studies published in the Journal of Veterinary Behavior have shown that dogs exposed to frequent aversive or confrontational interactions with their owners, even when those interactions are unintentional, can develop higher levels of anxiety and may become less likely to approach their owners freely in calm situations. They are not necessarily afraid of you. It is more that they are never completely sure which version of you they are going to get. The solution is actually simple. Instead of staring, redirect. Instead of creating pressure, calmly guide them toward the behavior you want. Use your voice to interrupt the action, not your eyes to challenge them. Because the dog you truly want, the dog who feels relaxed around you, chooses to stay close to you and trusts you completely, cannot fully exist if a part of them is always wondering whether your next look is safe. The second thing you need to do is let your dog finish when they come to check on you. This one may sound insignificant, but it is actually a huge part of your relationship. Your dog walks over while you are sitting quietly. They come closer. They sniff your hand. They gently press their nose against your arm or your face. Most owners immediately respond by reaching out and petting them. It feels natural. It feels loving. It feels like connection. But from your dog's perspective, you may have just interrupted a conversation they were still having. Dogs gather information about the people they are bonded with through scent and physical closeness in ways most humans never realize. Your body chemistry tells them things your facial expressions cannot. They can pick up on changes in your stress levels, your emotions, your health, or simply whether something feels different about you that day. That quiet little check-in is not random. It has a purpose. Your dog is not just asking for attention. They are checking on you. When you immediately turn that moment into a petting session, you unintentionally shift the focus. Instead of allowing your dog to complete their check-in, the moment becomes about your desire to touch them. Try something different. The next time your dog approaches you like this, keep your hands still for a moment. Let them sniff. Let them observe. Let them take however much time they need. Only after they finish what they came over to do, maybe they lean against you, look up at you, or simply stand there calmly, then respond. The difference you feel in those moments can be incredible because, for once, you allowed your dog to complete the interaction they started. And a dog who is allowed to finish their sentences eventually starts sharing more of them. The third thing is this. Let your dog know when something uncomfortable is about to happen. We change their entire world without giving them any warning. A new baby arrives. You move to a different home. Someone they love leaves. A new pet joins the family. They go through surgery. Your daily schedule completely changes. You take a vacation where someone else will be responsible for caring for them. For you, these moments come with context. You have time to think about them, prepare for them, and understand why they are happening. For your dog, they simply happen. One day, life feels normal. The next day, everything is different. They have no way to understand the reason behind the change. They cannot ask questions. They cannot know whether the situation is temporary or permanent. They are simply trying to make sense of a world that suddenly feels unfamiliar. Research from Stockholm University found that dogs experience significant increases in cortisol levels during periods of household disruption, and the stress response is often much stronger when those changes happen suddenly instead of gradually. You cannot explain a move to your dog with words, but you can help them through the transition by changing the way you prepare them. You can bring them to the new home before moving day. You can allow them to explore the new environment at their own pace. You can protect the routines that give them the strongest sense of security while everything else around them is changing. What you should not do is what many owners naturally do: nothing. They assume their dog will simply adjust, and sometimes they do. But the cost of that adjustment is real. The anxiety, the disrupted sleep, the elevated stress hormones that can remain for weeks, all of it exists, even if you cannot see it. Your dog has been waiting their entire life for you to understand that change is not neutral for them. Even something as simple as staying consistent with the things that matter most when everything else feels uncertain is a powerful form of love. It reaches them in a way that very few things can. The fourth thing your dog has been waiting for is this: let them say no. This is the one. Your dog has a vocabulary, a real one, not made of words, but made of body language, posture, movement, and tiny signals that communicate clear messages. And within that language, your dog has a way of saying, "Not right now, I don't want this. Please stop." The head turning away, the quick lip lick, the slight movement backward, the unexpected yawn, the body becoming stiff instead of relaxed. These are not random behaviors, they are sentences. And most owners do not just miss these signals. Sometimes they ignore them completely. A child wants to hug the dog while the dog's entire body is saying, "Please don't." The owner says, "It's okay, he loves it." A grooming appointment becomes stressful, and the dog shows every sign of discomfort. But the owner keeps going because the grooming needs to be finished. A stranger reaches toward the dog's head, and the owner says, "Sorry, he's a little shy," but never steps in. Every time this happens, your dog learns something important. Their communication does not work. The signals they send do not change the outcome, and over time, a dog who learns that their softer signals are ignored may stop using them altogether. Research from the University of Bristol's School of Veterinary Sciences found that dogs given more choice and control during physical interactions showed fewer anxiety-related behaviors and developed stronger voluntary bonds with their handlers compared to dogs, whose interactions were completely controlled by humans. Less control from you creates more trust from them. This is what your dog has been waiting for their entire life. Not for you to be perfect. Not for you to know every training technique or understand every command. They are waiting for you to listen when they communicate, to hear their no and respect it. Because a dog who trusts that their boundaries will be honored does not need to escalate. They do not need to growl, snap, or completely shut down. They can communicate in the quietest, earliest way possible and know that you will understand. That is not a dog being controlled. That is a dog who feels safe enough to tell you the truth. The fifth thing your dog needs from you is this: be the same person every day. Not perfect, just consistent. Your dog does not need you to be endlessly patient. They do not need you to never have a bad day. They do not need constant entertainment, attention, or stimulation every moment. What they need is to be able to predict you. Research into canine stress and owner behavior has repeatedly shown that unpredictability from a primary owner, not cruelty, not neglect, but simple inconsistency, is one of the strongest factors linked to chronic anxiety in domestic dogs. An owner who is affectionate one day and distant the next. Someone who plays with their dog enthusiastically on the weekend, but barely acknowledges them during the week. Someone whose rules change depending on their mood. To a dog, that unpredictability is exhausting, because they cannot understand who you are going to be from one moment to the next. And if they cannot predict you, they cannot fully relax around you. Not completely. Not in the way that allows them to truly become the dog they are trying to be. The version of your dog you want to see most: relaxed, present, confident, open, and completely trusting, can only appear when their nervous system finally feels safe enough to stop constantly paying attention and monitoring what happens next. And that monitoring only disappears when the person they are watching becomes predictable enough to trust. You do not need to be a perfect owner, you need to be a consistent one. Show up the same way in the moments that matter most to them. Feed them around the same times. Take them on walks with patience. Respond to their signals with care, even on days when you are tired, stressed, or distracted. Your dog has been waiting their entire life for the version of you that is always you. Not the perfect version, not the version that never makes mistakes, just the reliable one. If this video gave you a new way to see your dog or made you stop and think about your relationship with them in a different way, do one thing before you leave. Leave a comment telling us which of these 5 things you are going to change first, and subscribe so you do not miss the next video. Because the more you understand your dog, the better life becomes for both of you. And that is always worth showing up for.